So, I have not done a polyamory update in a good while, a few months. And the reason is because I'm slowly transitioning away from social media. So, I'm just feeling that growing pain, feeling that tension in the transition, getting used to the new flow. But the reason that I share my journey with polyamory is to be the change, is to inspire you, to show you what is possible. And, it's not always rainbows and butterflies. Sometimes that's part of the experience. But no matter what path you choose, monogamy, non monogamy, relationship anarchy, you're never going to choose a path that only has rainbows and butterflies. So I'm here to really be a possibility model. I just want to show you what is possible in the world outside of the social conditioning you've been indoctrinated in, which is, you know, been organized by the capitalist heteropatriarchy. Yay. Okay, let's get into it. Wow, this week I'm super duper celebrating how I am showing up in the face of uncertainty with such courage and having such faith in the future. It's not the easy path, but it is the path that is aligned with my values of non-hierarchical relationships, not forcing things, allowing the space for things to unfold organically. And this to me is the spiritual practice. It is embracing impermanence. It is respecting and uplifting my autonomy and my partner's autonomy and not claiming ownership over them. I would call it non-possessive love. And that to me is true love, where I can surrender control of the outcome and, yeah, just be a hell yes for the ride, no matter what it brings. It could be painful, it could be joyful, most likely will be a mixture, because that is the multidimensional truth of the universe. Things do not fit into clean categories as much as we like that illusion of safety. We try to box things in. That's just not the truth of the world. So, yeah, I'm showing up with a lot of courage and trust, and I'm proud of myself. And here's a little more details about what I'm talking about. Yeah, so one of my partners and I have been doing long distance for about a year. They've been on this beautiful journey, quite literally and like figuratively, living on the land, living in different kind of like eco activist communities all around the nation, and just really leaning into their experience with like personal transformation and getting to know themselves and getting to connect with spirit and with nature, which I have deep reverence for, such deep reverence. There's also a part of me that misses them so much, of course, but it is what it is, like we're autonomous beings, and if that's what they need, then I'm here to support them in what they need. And so they're coming back. Woo! Emotions. I'm excited that they're coming back. And before they're coming back home in a few months, they voiced a need to me via text, a voice message, just kind of naming that they're going to need some more space in this time with their like personal transformation journey. They're really going inward. And it's really not about me, it's about everybody. It's about them just really focusing their attention on themselves and not anybody else, including romantic partners. So, yeah, I mean, we finally talked on the phone this morning to like really set expectations and realign intentions about what will this time look like, so where we can both get our needs met. But leading up to this conversation a week ago, I was full of anxiety, anticipating the future, feeling fear about, oh no, like, definitely part of me respecting that they need space and like hearing that and honoring that, and then a part of me feeling fear of like, oh gosh, what if we never get back after that? Or there's just so many unknowns that, of course, the ego goes on to alert, because the ego likes predictability. That's how the body can relax and feel safe, if they know what to expect. So yeah, of course, there's this fear of like, I don't know what's going to come after this or what will unfold from here. So that was just part of the experience. But in the face of that fear, who I choose to show up as is somebody who just truly has faith in the future, just like letting go of any illusion of control that I might have. What I often see in these relationship dynamics that we get socially trained into is that we'll try to find, establish trust within the relationship by looking outside of ourselves and seeking evidence of, like, this is why I can trust you. For example, a label, being called a boyfriend or a girlfriend or a partner or a husband or a wife. This, despite the divorce rate, I can't remember the specific number, but I remember reading in Jessica Fern's book, Polysecure, which I highly recommend, some really shocking statistics about the divorce rate in this nation. So, despite the reality that calling yourself a husband or a wife or a life partner or whatever doesn't actually guarantee you that outcome, it's just one structure to establish trust. You're like creating something outside of yourself that you can point to as evidence of, like, oh yeah, well, this is my wife, so we're together forever. But who knows if you might get divorced in a couple years, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, I mean, my spiritual practice is this, like, surrendering to the universal truth that the only lasting truth is change. Shout out to Octavia Butler. The only lasting truth is change. And so even if my deepest desires are to guarantee that this relationship will last forever, because of course that's my intention, that's what I want. Really, all I'm able to do, what's in my control, is to name my intention, share it openly, unapologetically, without shame, with my partner, of like, hey, I see you as a life partner, and I just want to, set that intention as kind of like a guiding star. We can realign towards that no matter the time or the space or the distance. Whether or not that will happen, only time will tell. I have no way of predicting the future, because my needs are constantly ebbing and flowing depending on the way that I'm changing internally. I'm constantly in a state of change because I honor life, and that's part of my practice. It's not trying to put myself in any boxes, but just being super open to evolving and changing and allowing myself to be surprised, surrendering to life, really. So, where we landed with what they're needing is essentially they need to be alone right now. They need to be by themselves. And I'm choosing to not reinforce the narrative in my head of, like, oh, I'm being rejected. I'm just noticing that narrative, allowing that emotional experience to move through my body, and choosing not to identify with that narrative, and choosing to trust. Trust is ultimately a choice. I know a lot of folks, like I said, with the ego finding safety in finding an outcome that's predictable. Folks, including myself, in the past, I used to relate to trust this way, where I would calculate the future based on past evidence, and that's how I know I can trust someone. But the way I'm relating to trust now, as an extension of honoring spirit and relationship anarchy, just allowing things to unfold organically, not forcing things. Trust for me is really just having faith in the future. It's having no evidence to go off of, and just in a literal open energy, like a common pose to be in when we're having a trauma response is like protecting the chest from danger, hunching the shoulders, which sadly we mimic a lot when we're on our phones or when we're on the computer. But the energy of faith in the future, it's an energy of this. It's like sticking the chest out, not knowing what's coming your way, but just being open to whatever does come, and trusting in my ability that I will be okay, that I can handle it, no matter what the outcome. And you know what? Maybe the outcome is not going to be what I expected it, or what I even desire. But another thing that I'm deeply leaning into right now in this moment of my life is trusting that the universe will give me what I need, even if it's not what I expect it will look like. For example, I was really excited about this opportunity to live in a tiny home village here in Oakland, which is just like, so exciting on so many levels. The opportunity ended up not working out, and so even though I desired it so intensely, I was just like, okay, I'm gonna grieve the sadness and, like, grieve the dreams of what I imagined could be, the aliveness in my heart of just the desire to be included in this community, to be living in relationship with the land. Ugh. And just trust that this is not actually what I need right now, and that by saying no to this opportunity, basically, there is space for something else to come my way. So here I am, chest open, ready to receive. And that's the way I feel with this long distance relationship. We have decided to um, divest from using labels. We were calling each other partners. Um, and I'm just like, wow, who am I? That I'm just like feeling secure in the relationship without that label. Like, really, who am I? I really feel the secure attachment with myself, which, by the way, is a fluid state of being. It's not static. Yeah, but in this moment, I really feel the security I feel in my relationship with them and in my relationship with myself, trusting that no matter how the relationship unfolds over time, that we will continue to come back to each other. And it's so beautiful to like mutually agree to this arrangement where like they have all the space in the world where they need to like really be in deep relationship with themselves, which is a huge component of secure attachment. I couldn't even possibly attain secure attachment in a relationship with another person if they were not first secure in themselves. So they need to have that deep relationship with themselves. So I'm trusting that their boundaries and their needs are not personal against me as like, oh, I'm rejected. It's like, no, this person is deeply investing in themselves, and that is so sexy. Why would I ever even attempt to control them or box them in? Like, I will never deprive my loved ones of what they're needing. I'm always going to be receptive to what they're needing, even if it disappoints me or even if it's not what I desire. Because non possessive love is not exerting control over someone in order for me to feel safe, a sense of security. Trusting that I am safe within my social ecosystem, that I don't need to rely on a single person to meet all my needs or to feel safe in this world, that my safety alliances are not wrapped up in a singular romantic sexual relationship where my whole life is revolved around that, where I'm so out of balance with the community, you know? So, yeah, that is a huge source of the sense of security I feel in myself and within my ecosystem. And so when they come home, we're just going to start off with a blank slate. Like, hey, nice to meet you. This is something I often say with one of my other partners is, oh, nice to meet you. Because we joke about, I mean, it's like half a joke, but it's like literally true. So it's just like a playfulness on top of the truth. But we joke about re-meeting each other, even within a week's time, because, like I said, I am constantly going through transformation, and so is my partner. I love those kind of people who are just a hell yes to life and just yes to the unfolding, like not knowing where it's going to lead them, but just being a yes to it and seeing what happens, exploring the depths of their being. And yeah, yeah, I've dated so many people in the past where I would go through personal changes and then they would feel a strong resistance. They would try to box me in and it would make them feel uncomfortable, which, like, I don't take personally, you know, it's just their nervous system feeling dysregulated because who I am is unpredictable to them. And I respect that, but it's not a great alignment, you know, that is not a sustainable relationship where someone is trying to source their sense of security in keeping me static and preventing my growth and transformation. It's not a hell yes to life. It's a vibration of scarcity, clinging on to the predictable. So I disclosed to one of my partners up front, I was like, hey, I change often and I love it. So don't get too attached to any version of myself because I'm constantly in flux. And they just giggled and they were like, me too. So, oh, dream partnership. Hello. Yeah, truly, like such a fucking dream. So we often joke about like, oh, it'll be nice to meet you again. Like, who will you be next time I meet you? Ugh, such an openness, such an expansiveness. And so I'm feeling that same energy within myself and from my long distance partner being really embraced together. Like we're both on this journey together of not feeling attached to the outcome, not needing to force things, but just truly like feeling into each moment, moment by moment, listening to the body, slowing down, receiving the wisdom the body is communicating, receiving what needs are requesting to be met, identifying where the needs are unmet, and just pivoting from there. That's all life is a series of moments, you know? So, yeah, it's just beautiful. It's truly an art, the way that I'm living my life and the way that I'm leaning into trust and surrender and courage, and faith. Ugh. Ugh. Yeah, I just love who I am in the world. Um, the outcome is unpredictable, and I'm at peace with that. I'm a hell yes for the experience, whether I get my heart broken, whether I'm satisfied to my surprise. It doesn't matter. I'm a hell yes to feeling the feelings. Whatever comes my way, I'm a yes to it. I'm not resisting life. I'm not resisting my emotions. I'm not resisting the truth of what my partner needs. Because if I'm trying to manipulate my partner or set limits or rules on my partner to seek my own security, it's unsustainable for the relationship. So, and it's truly not an expression of love, it's selfish. As difficult as it could feel emotionally, but that's why it's so important to learn how to regulate your nervous system. I have so many resources about that. Check out my other videos. But yeah, this is my polyamory update for the time being. There will be more to come, so stay tuned, and I hope you got something out of this. One little tiny nugget would bring me a sense of joy and satisfaction. I definitely feel like I'm paving the path as I'm walking here. I know other folks are doing this work as well. I don't see it in the media. I don't see it often outside of the Bay Area. So, yeah, I feel a deep sense of purpose and passion in connecting with other folks and shining my light so brightly, so unapologetically, even though I know I'll get criticisms and people won't understand it. It's not my responsibility. I don't have time or energy for that. So really, I'm just putting myself out there to inspire you, to give you hope, to model to you what can be possible in relationships. And like, let me tell you, I did not get here overnight for sure. So if you're looking for support around how to practice the art of living, the art of being in relationship with spirit, in relationship with others in a way that is non-dominating, non-hierarchical, non-controlling, but really just leaning into deep authenticity and trust and surrender, I've got resources for you. You can join the Love and Liberation Network. We are an online global community of non-monogamous folks who are learning how to develop secure attachment while divesting from the scripted hierarchical relationships that we've been indoctrinated into. And I also do one-on-one coaching sessions with folks if you need, like, you know, a personal cheerleader. That's totally my vibe. So, yeah. Peace and blessings. Thank you for listening.